basically it's going right now, and you just point at us, and we're good to go. Okay?
How can I see what you're doing?
It doesn't matter. You can just come a little bit closer.
Oh.
There you go. Perfect. So I am here at Manassas with my friend Fred. Fred, thank you very much for talking with me. The reason we're here today is because my great-great-grandfather, Thomas Richard Martin, he fought in the Civil War for the Union, and he was in the Zouaves. Is that pronounced correctly?
Zouaves.
Zouaves, and he was the 5th unit.
5th New York Regiment.
5th New York Regiment, and he basically was a firefighter in New York City, and him and his entire the whole fire unit decided to volunteer to become, in the Union and fight the Civil War. So can you give me a little bit of history about the 5th unit?
Okay, the 5th was organized as a volunteer called Durays. Was the colonel who formed them. They were very well trained, very respected by the rest of the Union Army. Union Army really didn't care that much for volunteers, but they did have the red, white, and blue, very fancy uniforms, all right? And they had fought at Big Bethel and also at Gaines Mill before they came to Manassas. And on the 3rd day of Manassas, they were sort of out on their own when General Longstreet did his attack on the south side of the road down here, and with 30,000 troops, there were 2 units, the 10th and the 5th over there, the only ones that were left over there. And when they were hit by the Georgians and the Texans, they, out of 350 total count, they probably lost about 120.
Wow.
Were killed.
So almost half.
They were killed in within 10 minutes. And this is the highest regimental kill in any one battle of any Union infantry unit of the war. And he was part of that. He was a captain there.
And what was the reason for such a quick amount of death?
Well, they were completely overrun. They were in an open field. And the Confederates came out of the woods very rapidly.
And which part of the woods?
Well, we're not in that area. This is on the other side over there.
Over
Other side over there. You can go over there and see their monument. There's a monument to the 5th and the 10th.
Yeah.
And they were more or less camped over there, and they had their weapons stacked. And all of a sudden, they saw the 10th, who were all the skirmishers, 10th New York, come out across the field, and they were being chased by the Texans and the Georgians. And they could not fire because the 10th was in front of them. They couldn't fire until the 10th passed through them. And they only got off a few rounds, and they were completely slaughtered out there. They just evacuated and back over into here. When they reformed about a mile back, there were only like 30 of them left at that point.
And I thought what you said was really fascinating about being a firefighter back in the day, and when they had a fire that they would go to.
Okay, that's the 11th.
Okay.
The 11th New York Zouaves, which were the firefighters.
Right.
These gentlemen probably weren't that much involved with the firefighting, but originally the firefighter with the 11th New York was called the firefighters. And yes, they would. When they would go to a fight or go to a fire right on the boundary between 2 fire departments in New York City, they would duke it out to see who was going to put the fire out before
they would fight over to see who could go on the burning building.
They were very rugged. These gentlemen probably were a little more cultured, and much better trained by that time.
Cool. Well, Fred, I really appreciate your time, and it was great talking to you.
Thank you.
So, you can go man the desk. I just wanted to
thank you so much.
Okay, but go over and see their.
Yeah.
All the names are over there, and it's about a mile up the road.
Okay, thanks, Fred. So this picture was actually taken after the Civil War, and he was a very successful businessman. He worked at a brass mill in Waterbury, Connecticut, and he was wounded here at Manassas, and he died from a bursted appendix, and I'll tell you the date. In May 3rd of 1897. So it's really interesting, to be here and, feel the connection that I had with my great-great-grandfather. And you can see it's a very beautiful area. And so great day to be alive. Today is day 46, Hobonicy. So thank you very much.